me up. Make some music, huh? What are these? What are these? Anybody know what these are? It has been, a long and busy week. It's my fly deterrer. Try to keep the flies off. I just realized this has a piece of leather that's come undone. I don't know if I can get that back in, if it'll stay back in, or well, I hear horses behind me. This time of day, in the heat of the day, they like to hang in the run-in. And not just the horses, but also the chickens like to hang in the corner over here because they don't like it when it gets hot. So I got chickens behind me and a rooster behind me and horses behind me, and they've been over in the pasture over here that has a lot of clover in it, and so they have the slobbers. So I'm hearing them slobbering. Yes, white clover. Now I always heard it was just a white clover, but somebody told me that they'll get it with the red clover too. It has a fungus that grows on the roots or something, and it causes the horses to salivate heavily, and so that's what I'm hearing is the slobbers. Try not to let them in there, but like maybe once a week. But things are a little bit not quite the way I would like them to be here right now. So right now they are open. Good morning, afternoon, Kentucky Hilltop. I think we're supposed to have cooler temperatures this week, at the very least lower humidity. That will be a blessing and a half. Because I don't know about you, but I know I am so tired of the high humidity. I'm ready for a cool down. So that's supposed to be coming. I think starting tomorrow, I think. I just finished filling 33 jugs with water, 1 gallon jugs with water from a rain barrel. I am looking very forward to the day when I no longer have to take the time to fill jugs with water. Hello, Homesteading the Hollow, West Kentucky. Well, hi and welcome. More the merrier. It's fun living in a hollow, isn't it? Or as they say around here, a holler. Thank you, honey. Or is it Tiza? Somebody is adding moisture to the run-in behind me. I don't know if you could hear that or not. Oh, well, this has been an eventful week. Wanted to let you know you aren't talking to yourself. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Ambulance Project is in the full sun, so we will appreciate cooler temps. Oh, yes. Hi, Bandana Grandma. Haven't seen you here for a while. Nice of you to pop in. I tell you, so what has been going on? Oh, man. You want the good news or the bad news? Because there's some of both. Uh, Good news is, you know what these are? These are for something that I am hoping to have finished this week. It's been a long time coming, but I think it's going to get done this week. When it goes swimming, pools open and hi there. Ah, Cheryl, I don't blame you wanting to go swimming. Today is a good thing. It's the electric temple massagers. Oh, yeah. There you go. Only there's no electric to them. They are. Maybe if I showed them this way. Anybody have an idea what these are? Come on. Some of you must know. Anyway, I got the one hole dug and the one post in. If you watch me on Instagram, 92 in the sun. Oh, 80 the pool. That sounds wonderful. Gate thingies. You're right, Kentucky Hilltop Home. They are gate hinges. Yes. The gate that I bought, almost 2 years ago, I am finally going to get it hung. I got the gate post cemented in. Smarty pants. Anyway, yeah, the gate post, the post that the gate will be mounted on with these, is in the hole. It's cemented in. Still got some other stuff to tamp around it because I didn't fill the hole right full with cement. I'm filling the rest of it in with the dirt, which is mostly clay. So, because I want the water to run away from it. Not to mention, I was trying to beat the rain when I got it set. Okay, not that it amounted to anything anyway, which is for another topic. Anyway, but that post is in. The boards are up. It's right here next to the run-in. Like I said, if you follow me on Instagram, I post a picture of the post being in and one board being fastened up. And I got the other two boards fastened in, they're screwed in. So that post is good and solid. Okay. And yes, it is plumb. The boards are level, at least for the time being. Okay. So I am in the process now of digging the hole for the other post on the closing side of the gate. And that hole, believe it or not, it's a smaller hole, but it is getting to be much harder to dig than the big hole for the big post. So it's taking me longer. I even tried putting water in it yesterday, and I just ended up with a muddy slurry. It didn't help a whole lot. Just, you had just hard to get the clay out. Because it was on the top, it was so packed. And I didn't think it would be as hard because where this post is going, it didn't get as much traffic as where the first post was, which was closer to the run-in. But I mean, I will get it done. It's not going to get done. Probably won't get it finished today. I'm going to try. I just go and pound it, with the post hole digger, for as long as I can handle it. And then I take a break and I go and do something else. So, but it's coming. It's coming. I do plan on having it mounted within the next few days. Hopefully, just the only holdup is that this post hole I'm digging. And also, I got to see if I have a spade bit that is long enough to go all the way through the post for these hinge pins. So I have a spade bit. I think is the right size. It's in the house, but I don't know if it's long enough because it's got to go like 6 inches. So I may have to get a new spade bit, a longer one. So I'll know better when I go look at that spade bit. So anyway, so that's good news. Okay. Now we're going to go to some bad news. I got some bad news this week. It's could end up being good news for the people involved, but I'm brokenhearted about it. And that is my Amish friend, who has been such a godsend to me. Because of him, him hiring me to drive him around and whatnot, I've learned my area, the roads where different things are, where I can get different things that are helpful for my homestead. It's just over a local education kind of thing. They're looking to sell their property and move out of state. I am sad to hear it. They have become very good friends. But at the same time, I don't blame them because where they are looking to move is close to family. And it's been very hard on his wife being away from her family when she's trying to raise a young family. So I understand why I'm not happy about it. I'm happy for them if it works out for them. He's already got his house listed for sale, and he already has someone who wants to look at it. And I mean, I think he just listed it like either Friday or Saturday. I don't remember. So, I mean, he didn't waste any time. So, if it works out for them, that's great. That's wonderful for them. But I will really, really miss them. Now, that's bad news. Now, let's go back to good news. Tomorrow, I will be ordering my rainwater catchment system storage tank. I got busy on Friday, otherwise I would have ordered it on Friday. But tomorrow, I will be ordering the storage tank. It's ending up being a little bit more money than what I was hoping for, but it's cheaper than the Source Local. So as much as I would really like to support local, right now I have got to really count my pennies. So I went with a cheaper option. So that is, I'll get that going. And I hopefully, if I don't get the call tomorrow, I'll call on Tuesday to arrange for gutters. Okay. And we will be getting our rainwater catchment system set up. Now, I still have to do a cement pad for the for where the tank's going to sit. Tinker's wife, hi! How nice of you to drop in. And sorry, it'll be so nice to get the rainwater catchment system in, as we haven't had hardly any rain. So hopefully I can get it set up and start collecting water for when we do finally get some rain. We've only had the odd shower here and there, nothing significant for a while, which means my well is low. I just pumped water out of it yesterday, and it's very murky looking. Just saw you on and had a few minutes. Well, I'm glad that you had a few minutes to pop in, Tinker's wife. I'm so happy that you were. The more the merrier, right? Sorry, I was talking about my water situation. we haven't had much in the way of rain. I see some clouds forming over there. I don't know if we're going to get anything or not. There was some storm clouds heading from the north, but I don't know if they were going to hit us or not. We seem to be in an area where, I see this big storm system coming down, and just as it gets to the town that's just barely to the north of me, it kind of like breaks apart right where it would hit me. And everybody south of us gets it, or everybody north of us gets it. Or I have seen this happen. I have seen we've got one system coming here and one system, and it comes together, and then it parts and it goes around me, and then it comes back together. Yes, I have seen it do that. So we have not had a lot of rain. We've had some. We had some the other night. And when you are so dependent on rainwater, it gets, you really pay attention. Now I'm good with my rain barrels. I've got, there was one that we filled from earlier this week that is still, it filled up some from that storm that we had, but it didn't fill it all the way. And I filled my jugs from another rain barrel today, took 33 gallons out of it. And that's set up to receive water. It's got a makeshift gutter. And that leaves us 3 additional rain barrels that are full. Okay. Those are the 55-gallon barrels. Hey, if the land, probably, sorry to hear it's missing you guys. It happens here. Yeah, it's just the way the systems work, and it's like there are days when we get pounded, and just this last little while, it's been missing us, so we'll get rain eventually. I know we will. We've had it in the past, and when we'll have it again. It's just a matter of when. So anyway, so our water's okay. We still have enough, we've been doing laundry in town, so it's not like laundry, I find, is what eats up your water mostly. Okay, so we've been doing that in town, so it hasn't been a huge burden on our water. Okay, but with the rainwater system, rainwater catchment system that's going to be getting installed, that will help, because for one thing, it's 500 gallons. My tank is going to be a 500-gallon tank. With the cost share program, it was a minimum of 400 gallons that they required. But he said that I can get a larger tank if I thought it was worth it. And the price was good for a 500-gallon tank, so that's what I went for. Better to have more than what you need than not enough, right? So, so that was good news. We won't count the missing rain, but because that is what it is. But the good news is the rainwater catchment system. Bad news again. I discovered yesterday that the hose that I had running from the pond to the cement waterer I have back there by the pond, it has lost its siphon. Now, I don't know if it's because the pond is low or why, or if it got disturbed and thereby breaking the siphon. I don't know. Almost anything could have happened. Just thinking I might have heard a few drops, but no. So I've got to get up there and work with that and see what the issue is. Thing is, I have a roll, I believe it's a 100-foot roll of, I think it's either an inch or 1.5 inch, the black tubing that they use for water lines. I have a roll of that. I was going to use it for something else, and it didn't work out. But I have this, and it's like, ideally it would be great to have that run from the pond, but bury it, get a rented ditch witch or something, which right now I don't think I have the money to rent a ditch witch. So, but I could get it set up so that it'll just be on the surface, and it's stiffer, so it's not quite as flexible as the hose I've been using. Um, and get that hooked up so that, maybe at some point I can get it to where it is buried underground, and then I can allow it to run longer when it gets cold. It doesn't get that cold down here so far. I only had to disconnect the hose twice last winter, because if it was going to freeze, I disconnected it so that the water freezing in the valve didn't break anything. So that's bad news, but it could end up being good news. It's just a matter of getting it done. It's one more thing that needs to be done. Now, scary event. All kinds of things. I told you this was all kinds of things happening this week, and coming up too. But this is something that, homestead security is pretty important. I'll tell you, Gracie deserves a steak. Little Gracie, yes, that little Gracie. I don't know where she is. I think she's sleeping in the cabin. The other night, she comes bolting out of the cabin, just barking. Okay, a little bit more aggressively than usual for her. I mean, she's come out barking at things like she hears a noise in the night or something like that, and she'll bark, and you figure, oh, it's some kind of wildlife, either a deer going through, or it could be a possum. I've seen a possum around on the property, that kind of thing. Okay. And that's her job. That's part of her job anyway, is to alert. And this is what she did. Okay. But it was a little bit more aggressive than usual. But we walked around, we checked with flashlights, the chickens were fine, everybody was fine over, in that area where the chickens are. Everything seemed fine. There was nothing out of the ordinary. Figured, okay, it must have been just a wild animal. She probably scared it off with her barking. So, we were starting to come back to the cabin, and then I noticed the goats were out. Okay, the goats don't come out after dark. They just don't. They come back to the shelter just before dark, and they hang out. They just bed themselves down, which has been wonderful. Okay, and they're usually good about staying in there. Well, something spooked them, and they had come out of their safe zone. They're in their pen, and they had come right on out of the pasture. And it's like, okay, that's odd. And I don't know if it's because I was using a flashlight, but when I opened the gate for them and called them, they were very hesitant to come back into the pasture, and even back into their safe pen. I had to get my husband and my son to help kind of herd them down a little bit. Usually they come pretty good, when I call them. And but like I said, it was nighttime. It was after dark, and I was using flashlights. We all had flashlights, and so that could have been a factor. It's not something they're accustomed to. So, but then as I just got the goats back in their pen, and this time I was closing their gate and tying it shut, which is fun when you're trying to do this with one hand and you're holding a flashlight with the other. Next thing I know, there's a person walking up the hill, kind of out of the woods, between the barn and the goat shelter. And it's like, at first, my first thought, because it's so unusual, was it was either my son or my husband, but it wasn't. Okay. The hair was wrong, clothes were wrong. Okay. So it's like, who is that? It's like, hello, who are you? And it's like, it was a woman. Come to find out, it was a woman. I couldn't tell at first. Um, but she had come out of the woods. She could have been traipsing through up where the pond was, and she could have kicked something, breaking the siphon from the pond to the water. I don't know. I couldn't tell when I was up there yesterday. But anyway, so we had this woman show up on the property after dark. And she seemed a little bit confused. She did not appear injured. She was not an older woman. I'd say maybe in her 30s, maybe. And we had a hard time understanding her as to what her name was, what she was looking for, who she was looking for. Ended up calling the sheriff just because, I wasn't sure what her story was. She claimed that something that she had family that lived in the area, but she couldn't give me an address. So I just wasn't real sure. So I figured, better be on the safe side. I mean, I don't know if she had a medical issue or what. She was not drunk. I did not smell any alcohol. Could she have been high? I don't think so. Not saying that she wasn't a user. She could have been. But I don't think she was high. But she definitely, something just didn't seem right. So called the sheriff, and he came and got her. And as far as I know, took her to wherever she needed to be. So it could have been, but like I said, I don't think she was high at that time. But whether or not she was earlier and it had worn off, I don't know. I did not feel threatened by her. Okay. Definitely did not feel threatened. More like cautious for her well-being. Yeah. And my husband has dealt with druggies too. So, the thought was there, but, and there are druggies around. Okay. Unfortunately, that is what's around here in certain places. I guess every community has a certain section of their population that's involved with it. So anyway, but she's gone. But it's like, I got to thinking if maybe, it would be wise for me to look into getting a livestock guardian dog. I mean, I had plans to get one eventually, but, I really don't know that I can afford to get one until after my Social Security kicks in. Yes, I will be starting my Social Security in a few months. Yes, I'm that old, okay? But we won't talk about that anymore. Okay. It's this, a lot of people talk about, how they support their homestead lifestyle. And I've said before, okay, obviously YouTube can't be counted on. So I don't, which good thing because I don't get anything. I'm nowhere near ready to be monetized yet. But I've been most of the stuff that I've been, the big projects like getting the livestock, the barn, and now this rainwater catchment system, that's being paid for with an inheritance from my father. Okay. And that has been earmarked from the beginning for these things. Okay. Now, using the cost share program for the barn and the cost share program for this rainwater catchment system is helping me to stretch my dollars a little bit further. Okay. But basically, we have been living on my husband's Social Security, and he gets a very small pension, very, very small. So that's been what we've been living on, and also whatever I make from driving the Amish. And then when my Social Security kicks in, that will be what we use to live on. Okay. Like I've said before, we own the property, right? Straight out, we own the property. But the goal is to have the livestock pay for itself. The chickens, I will be breeding and hopefully selling, whether it be eggs or pullets or what have you. That's the goal there. I've done that kind of thing before, so that's nothing new for me. And then also the goats are, not only are they for, the control of the brush on the property, which they are doing an awesome job. The only problem I have is I need more goats. But also the goal is to eventually be able to sell them and make some money, at least enough to pay for their upkeep during the winter. Okay. Yeah. So that's what's been going on this week. Aside from getting over being sick, I still had some lingering weakness from last week. Even I didn't really feel like 100% until like Wednesday, and I figure that the heat that we were going through and the humidity did not help, because I think that kind of compounded my symptoms and drug it out a little bit more. Because if it gets really hot, I do get sick. Now, this illness was not the heat related, but the heat probably aggravated it. So, yeah. So anyway, Wednesday is when I finally started to feel somewhat normal. So between the gate and getting that done, whether or not I'm going to take the board fence I would like to take the board fence a little bit further. I'm just not sure, because I'm having a bugger over time trying to get this second post in. I may have to wait until we get have a little bit more rain over a short period of time, so that it's easier digging. I'm not sure, but the plan was to have a board fence going from the side of the run-in over to where the stone wall is, which is where the stairs are, which I still haven't gotten them finished being cleaned up. Hopefully maybe this fall I can get that done. And yeah, I still have the hen house I'm still trying to build. But you know what? That's been dragging on for so long, and it's been such a slow process. I had to switch gears just for my own sanity, okay? And I mean, I had wanted this gate up for a while now, and it's like, I gotta get this up. I've got the post, I've got the gate, it's just not where it's supposed to be. I gotta get this up. It'll be much easier. As my husband was having some difficulty with my temporary electric gate setup. So he was having some difficulty with it. And plus my son, I don't know how comfortable he was with you doing it. It's like, I got to get the gate. The gate will make things so much easier for them as well as for me. So, and I have, my son's been starting to learn things around here. He feeds the goats. He's really good with the goats. As a matter of fact, the other day, I think something spooked the goats. This wasn't at that night. This was since then. Something spooked them. They were down behind the barn, down by the creek earlier, and then all of a sudden I heard a panic cry from a goat, and they took off, which is what they do. I don't know what spooked them. Something spooked them. Normally they come to the safe space, but they didn't come to the safe space. It might have been because I was working with power tools right here by the barn. That's a possibility. But anyway, it took us a while to find the goats. And when we finally did, they would not come to my husband. They just flat out would not come. They kept walking away from him and said, okay. My son, I called him and said, okay, you need to come and help me with the goats, okay? Because they know you. And they did. Once my husband got out of the way, I said, "You're going to have to come on down because they don't know you very well." He went up. He got them. Of course, he had their favorite bribe, which is no. Maybe I'll show that later on another video, maybe. But he had some of their favorite bribe, and he was able to get the goats to come back down, and we got them into the pasture. But it, like I said, they were spooked. Who knows what it was? Like I said, it could have been just the fact that I was using power tools near their safe space, and that it's not something that they're used to. I mean, they've heard me use power tools over by the hen house that I'm building, but other than that, you know. So anyway, if anybody has any questions or anything, by all means, pop them in there. I don't know how many. I guess we still have 6 people in here. So I am. Once I get this gate, I've been going around between trying to dig the post hole, and I got some pallets that I broke down, and I'm getting the nails out of there, and I'm saving the nails, and the pallet wood is what I'm using to build the hen house. I'm on the next level, and then I got to figure out how to do the roof, and I got to put the fencing up, and I have a feeling I'm going to have to possibly break down and buy some 2x4s, because what I'm getting from the pallets I don't think is long enough. I think I'm going to need the 2x4s to get the height that I need. However, there was an Amish gentleman that offered me some free pieces of lumber because he has a sawmill, and he said that I could just come over and see what he's got if I can use it. And so I'm hoping to be able to get over there maybe this week and see if he's got some longer pieces that are at least 6 feet long. Okay, if I can get at least 6 feet long, I can work with that. And hopefully I can just get this fence up so I can get the chickens over in that area, so they're not all over in the goat pen. Oh, and I got one confused rooster. I don't know what I'm going to do with him. He thinks he's a duck. That's crazy. This one rooster, he thinks he's a duck. He hangs with the ducks. I have seen him flirt with one of the duck hens. You know how a rooster will peck at something and he'll start to call the girls over? Well, I've seen him do that with the ducks. All day. The ducks hang out up by the cabin under the deck in the heat of the day, and I see him laying there with the ducks. At night, the ducks all get put away in a pen, and last night I saw him just kind of bed down right next to them. Now, I think he did eventually come over here with the other chickens, but it's crazy. This rooster thinks he's a duck. He's totally enamored with them. It's like, okay, dude, you are totally confused. So if you are a chicken, you are not a duck. So it's crazy. It is just crazy. I guess it takes all kinds. But anyway. And another little bit of news is that I think Mama is going into season, because Billy has really been paying a lot of attention to her. So that's a good thing. That means if he sticks with it, which he probably will, we are looking at hopefully kid or kids in about mid-January. So Mama will be the first one that I know of that's going into season. I suspect that Coco will be the next one because she's the next oldest. And then we'll see about Moo Moo. She's not quite where I would like her to be weight-wise. She has improved since I've I wormed her and I gave her probiotics and I gave her copper and all that. It's improved her. She still hasn't put the weight on like I would like to see her, but she is improving. So I'm just not sure about having her bred at her current weight. And then the next one that would be that would be probably coming into season would be Little Miss. Now, Little Miss has not grown very quickly, but that's, she lost her mother when she was about 10 weeks old, which is like, they do okay. By then, they can be without the mother, but I don't think that she got quite the enough nutrition to get her to grow properly. Okay. Nutrition is important. So, we'll see what happens with her. I'm just, Moo and Little Miss are the two that I'm like, should I even let them breed? I'm just like not sure. Little Miss, for her size, she's well covered. She's got good muscle coverage on her frame. Just not sure about her size, if she can handle giving birth. I mean, she might. I don't know. Because she'll be a year old in February. I believe she was born in February, so a year old. And from what I understand, with the Kegos, they can breed when they're, about that old. So, we'll see how that goes. I expect Coco's going to be, good. But if any of them are going to give me multiple births, it's going to be Mama. But there's still no guarantee, because she's getting up there in years. But that's okay. If she gives me one, I'll be grateful for it. She's been a great matriarch for the herd. She has, she's just kind of like, she took Little Miss underneath her wing. She kind of mothers the herd, kind of, so to speak. She looks out for them. And when she says it's time to go to bed, she calls and, they come following. Of course, sometimes Billy has other ideas. Sometimes he'll take the other two girls, Moo and Coco, out when Mama's wants them to go to bed. And it's so funny to watch them argue about it. I don't know if they're really arguing, but that's what it seems like. Seems to me like they're arguing about it. Is that Mama's going bad, and Billy's like, no, I don't want to. It's too funny. But animals are characters, I tell you. They all have their own personalities. So anyway, that's pretty much what's been going on. I thought I recorded a video the other day this week, and I go to download it onto my computer, and it was there on the phone, and then it's gone. The other two videos that I had on my phone that I didn't really want, they were for some other stuff, they're there, but the video that I recorded specifically to upload on the YouTube, it's gone. So I have to re-record that. Hopefully I can find the time to do that this week. And hopefully I can get myself in gear and we get more videos up, because there's a lot of things I want to cover, and it's been busy. But hopefully we'll have a rain catchment system before too long. I got to try and figure out where I want the hydrant. I think I mentioned last week, I'm thinking about putting it on the opposite side of the barn from where the tank's going to be. Mainly because, if I need to wash something out, I always come on this side of the barn, and the water storage tank's going to be on the north side. That's the south side, and that's north. So, we'll see. I had thought about ordering a second tank, This cost share program does not include the cabin, but I was thinking about getting a second storage tank for up by the cabin if I could get it for a cheaper price. The shipping for cheaper price, or even not have a second shipping. But I think I'm just going to stay with the one storage tank, and we'll see what happens with the cabin. Like I said, I have the 5 rain barrels that we've been using. I would like to phase them out for something a little bit better. But the plan is to have a rainwater catchment for the chicken coop, and also a rainwater catchment system for the goat barn. You remember early on, I forget who it was that sent me. I have to go back and look. The green automatic waterer. I haven't forgotten it. That is going to get hooked up for the goat barn, okay, with a rainwater catchment system. That is the plan, and I want to put at least 2 barrels back there with the barn, and have it hooked up. Now, I'm not sure if I'm going to put the barrels inside the barn or outside the barn. I may have to put it on the side. I don't know. I'll have to figure it out once I get the barn nailed down as to exactly how I'm going to have it set up. But the goats will have their own shelter over there. And I'll probably have some stalls in there so that if I have to separate them, especially when it comes to weaning, I can do that. Right now, it's just everybody's in, but all together. But that means, like, little man, I have not been able to wean him. And Mama's still, he's still nursing. He's 6 months old, and he's still nursing. Actually, he's more than 6 months old. And it's like, seriously, dude, you're getting too big for that. You need to knock it off. But until I get the rainwater catchment system in, and the reimbursement from that, I will be using that to buy wire fence for the new goat pen. It'll be more secure. It'll be safer for any kids that are born, because I've had the babies go through the electric fence, and that's not good. That's not safe for them. When they're older, the electric fence is fine. They respect it. But when they're babies, they don't know, and they get scared and they get hurt. It's like, no, I don't want that. So I'm going to put a wire fence around the new goat pen area. And there will be electric wire inside as well as outside, so that they can learn what electric wire is. Okay, and then they'll respect it. So that's my plans. So you've gotten good news and bad news, and good news and bad news, and plans and what's going on. I think I've pretty much covered everything. Unless anybody has any other questions, I'm going to go and try and get a little bit more dirt out of that hole. If I get it deep enough today, I'll set the post today. I'm not going to hold my breath. Hopefully I can get it done tomorrow. So, and hopefully I can get the siphon going again from the pond. I think I'm going to need to get some help for that. My Amish friend's oldest boy might be able to help me with that. But we'll see. I'm going to talk to him tomorrow about that. And if I can get that going again, then it's all right. We'll be all right. But water is a mild concern right now, because right now, if I can't get that siphon going, the horses will not have water. So hopefully I can get that going tomorrow, if not by Tuesday at the latest. So, alrighty. Well, I guess that's it, people. No questions, not too much movement. I don't know if it's because maybe I'm just talking too much. I don't know. But anyway, have a good one. And I will see you on the next video. Hopefully my phone will not lose the video this time. I don't know if it was the phone or the computer or the line in between the two, but it was gone. So hopefully I can find it. So, all right, I'll talk to you later, everybody. Have a good one.